A modern container ship can weigh well over 200,000 tons. When gale force winds are howling and powerful currents are pushing against the hull, the force on that vessel is enormous, strong enough to snap thick steel cables like thread. And yet, when it needs to stay in one place, this floating city relies on what looks like a single metal hook hanging from its bow. But that hook is only part of the story. Because here's the surprising truth. If you dropped that anchor in the middle of the deep ocean, it would do absolutely nothing. And if you tried to pull it up the wrong way, you could seriously damage your own ship. So how do captains know exactly how much chain to use? How do they lift a 20-ton anchor buried deep in mud? And what happens when the water is simply too deep to anchor at all? Today, we're diving into the heavy engineering behind anchors, right here on Everyday Things, Untold Stories. To understand how anchoring really works, you first have to respect the chain. On a large commercial vessel, this is not the kind of chain you buy at a hardware store. A single link on a large cruise ship or container vessel can weigh more than 300 pounds, about as much as a full-size refrigerator. Each link is forged from high-strength steel, built to withstand enormous tension, corrosion from salt water, and years of grinding against sand and rock. The anchor itself might weigh between 15 and 20 tons, but the chain attached to it often weighs even more than the anchor. And that weight is the real secret. When a captain anchors a ship, they don't simply drop the hook straight down and hope it sticks. They carefully pay out a long length of heavy chain along the seabed. As the chain settles, it forms a natural sagging curve known as a catenary. That curve is critical. The weight of the chain lying on the ocean floor acts like a massive shock absorber. When waves, wind, or current push the ship backward, the force doesn't immediately reach the anchor. First, the ship has to lift tons of steel chain off the seabed. That takes energy. By the time the pull finally reaches the anchor, it is mostly horizontal rather than vertical. Anchors are designed to resist horizontal force. Instead of being pulled out, they dig deeper into the seabed, burying their flukes into sand or mud like a plow cutting into soil. The anchor isn't just hanging there, it's actively gripping the ground. But what about the deep ocean? If a ship breaks down in the middle of the Pacific, where the water can be thousands of meters deep, can it drop anchor? The short answer is no. Most commercial vessels can only anchor in depths of roughly 100 meters, sometimes a bit more depending on equipment. Beyond that, the physics simply stops working in your favor. If you tried to deploy enough chain to reach the bottom in 2 miles of water, the chain itself would weigh so much hanging vertically that it could snap under its own weight. The windlass, the powerful winch system that controls the anchor, could fail. In extreme cases, the stress could even damage the bow of the ship. In deep water, ships don't anchor. If they lose power, they drift and issue distress signals. Modern specialized vessels like offshore drill ships rely on dynamic positioning systems instead, using computers, GPS, wind sensors, and powerful thrusters to constantly adjust their position and swim against wind and current without ever touching the seabed. When ships do anchor in shallower water, precision is everything. You can't simply guess how much chain to release. Too little chain and the anchor won't hold. Too much and you risk tangling with other ships or underwater obstacles. The length of anchor chain is measured in units called shots or shackles. One standard shackle is 27.5 meters, or about 90 feet. Each section is connected by a detachable joining link that is painted in bright colors and marked in patterns so crew members can identify how many shackles have been deployed. Some links are even wrapped with wire so they can be identified by touch at night. As the chain roars out through the hawse pipe in the bow, a crew member counts the colored links as they flash past and radios the bridge. 3 shackles in the water. That simple call tells the captain exactly how much chain lies on the seabed. The ratio between the length of chain deployed and the depth of the water is called the scope. And a safe scope is often 5 to 7 times the water depth, ensuring the pull on the anchor remains as horizontal as possible. Then comes the hardest part, leaving. A 20-ton anchor buried in mud doesn't just lift cleanly. Over time, suction builds around it, forming a powerful seal with the seabed. Trying to yank it straight out with the winch alone could overload the motor or strain the chain. Instead, the ship slowly moves forward toward the spot where the anchor is buried. As it does, the angle of the chain changes. Eventually, the chain becomes nearly vertical. Anchors are designed to resist horizontal force, but a straight upward force breaks the suction seal. The moment the anchor finally releases from the seabed, the crew calls it breaking out. As it rises, it is often coated in thick, sticky mud and debris from the ocean floor. Before it seats back against the hull, high-pressure seawater jets blast it clean inside the hawse pipe so the chain locker doesn't fill with sludge. Once secured tightly against the bow, the ship is free to move again. From the massive weight of forged steel links to the precise calculations of scope and the careful maneuvering required to break an anchor free, anchoring is a remarkable blend of brute force, physics, and centuries of maritime experience. It may look simple from shore, just a ship sitting still on the water, but beneath the surface is a carefully engineered balance between gravity, geometry, and raw power. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe to Everyday Things to uncover more surprising histories hidden in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.